All right, all right. How's it going?
Howdy.
How are you? Sorry for the delays today.
All good.
I was in such a groove this morning, and I have two different calendars, and I forgot to check my other one, and then I'm like, oh crap. Anyway,
Oh
sorry about
no,
that.
I noticed it wasn't on my calendar either, so we gotta re-add it.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Anyway, what's up? Big week?
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of surprising. Got Stammer AI announced that got nominated for Product Hunt's Product of the Year for the Bootstrapped and Small Teams category.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked amazing. How did they just find you and then nominated you without you knowing? Because it sounded like you didn't really know until it was done.
Yeah, I think it's based on what are called shout outs, I think, within that category. And Stammer got a shout out, which only several apps did. So I think the apps that got shout outs were ones that were nominated because I didn't even know the Golden Kitty Awards. I didn't even know that was a thing,
Yeah, that was
But
my first time hearing about it as well. But I mean, either way, that's awesome. It's recognition.
exactly, it's pretty cool. And I was thinking like they just announced how they're announcing the Oscar nominations soon, and it's like people care that you were nominated, or they use that as like a bragging point. So I was like, shoot, I'm gonna brag about it too, because like why not?
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. I mean, recognition's recognition, right? People have found your app, they've used it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And from a business point of view, from a business model from Product Hunt, it's now getting me to create content to get people to go to producthunt.com to upvote for my app. And it's now like bringing Product Hunt back to the top of my mind, to where I just got off a call with Tim and we were like, oh, we should do a relaunch on Product Hunt for our new feature because why not? And I can only imagine that the amount of business that they're gaining from whatever amount of money that they've earmarked as an investment towards managing the Golden Kitty Awards is going to be
Yeah.
a positive ROI endeavor.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And everybody that is following you that's going to log into Upvote, like me, I created an account on Product Hunt for the specific reason of being able to upvote Stammer.
There you go. Now they got all your information. You're done. You're good.
Yeah, they got you.
You got.
That's it. Oh, that's awesome. Well, congrats. Have you moved up in the ranks at all?
Um, I think so. Yeah. I mean, yesterday we were not within the top five. Now we're number four. So
Ooh. Okay, so can you send me the URL again? Because I just clicked on it through your story, so I haven't gotten it
yeah,
from my desktop.
yeah, yeah. This will be you next year in the iOS app uh category, right?
I hope so. That'd be awesome. I've been learning so much more. Okay, nice. There we go. Yeah, I've been learning so much more about that and how apps get SEO ranking within the iOS App Store, which I didn't place a lot of emphasis on. I never really placed a lot of emphasis on SEO because it's such a long-term play. It's like the more you work on it, the more you work on marketing and branding in general and content creation, the more you're going to rank naturally for SEO. Like
Yeah,
people wouldn't have found Stammer if you didn't have such a strong social following. And then you have a bunch of blog posts that link back to it. But in iOS, it has so much to do with how many downloads you get in the first week of launch, which is crazy.
hmm.
So where I'm trying to line up when our devs are done and the app is published versus when our content creators are going to be able to post their content. But
Interesting.
it's kind of a double-edged sword because they can't make content about it until they download and demo the app. So and it's weird. I'm rushing them. I'm like, okay, so it's going to be launched this day. Can you have your content out within the first 7 days of you downloading it?
What about the test flight? Can you like seed it to them early?
They can, yeah, I can. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that.
7 days. I mean, as a creator, I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah, 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 exactly. I know. I know. It's such a balancing act.
Yeah.
Such a balancing act. Um, anyway, sorry. I feel like we got a lot to unpack, but yeah, product hunt thing is awesome.
Yeah, then the creating content as an influencer, now that I'm seeing more brand deals come in more consistently again, the amount of requirements that these agencies are putting up front, which was never the case, um, makes me think that they're doing more mass reach out to see if anybody bites at these ridiculous like quotas and rules basically that are placed on top of the creator for X amount of dollars.
So what do you mean? Like, give me an example. What is?
I'll call a company out. So Salesforce, they they reached out and they're like, we want you to make a video about Agent Force. They were like, you have to send us requirements by X day. You have to like come out and meet us at the Salesforce Tower on this day. You're filming this day. You're working with the internal team these 3 days. Like it's controlling the entire process to where it's just like do this, say that. Like it's not like what am I creating at that point? You know, in a way, almost like comparatively to someone like DHL, which DHL was like, come on out and do whatever you want, and we only ask that you like have a call to action at the end. That is like the point of our campaign,
Yeah.
and it allowed me total creative freedom to talk about whatever I wanted. And this other version is like you have to do this all these things and follow these rules, and they placed you can't create content about these other companies for X amount of days before you post and like 90 days after you post. And
Mm.
it's like every major company that I talk about like consistently.
So what did you do? Did you just say no?
Yeah. I said, no, sorry, thanks for reaching out. This isn't a good fit. Because these are also these big companies that use these BS middlemen influencer content. Oh, well, we connect content, we creators with brand. Like the only one I've ever seen that has value is from Mike Rama with brands to creators or creators to brands, whatever his I forgot the name of his one, but his was actually good because he actually came from that, I think, from an organic point of view of being that creator and then creating the platform that would allow for companies to um, see those things. FYP, fuck you, pay me. That's another app. That's another one that I've seen that I like. Have you seen
Fuck
that
you,
one?
pay me. No, I haven't. I need to check that one out.
It
So
it's it's like a real quick. It's like basically what I just told you as a story. It's a platform for creators to go and tell that story and call out brands to see like, oh, they are gonna undercut you. Oh, they're like net 90. So, that's no, I'm dealing with like a net 90 right now for fucking like $500. It's ridiculous.
see, dude, that's so good to know, and that's so good for creators to know because brands can get fucked over, but creators definitely get fucked over too.
Oh yeah. And that's why I have such strict rules in my media guides and rate sheets now. It's because I've been screwed over and I've just learned fool me once, right?
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. So for the creator, the DHL situation is way better than the Salesforce situation. You have creative freedom, you can do whatever you want, and they just say add a CTA,
Yeah.
right? So okay, what do you think's better for the brand? Because
I
I
would
think the brand just wants to use your megaphone, right? That's it. They're like, he has the audience, he has the face. If he's saying the words, then it's the same thing as if we give him creative freedom or we tell him what to do.
so I guess the what I would say back is I can and I would classify the like there would be a difference I would say if we're talking about like an e-com brand, but we're talking about two multi-billion dollar publicly traded companies. And one is telling me this is exactly how you're going to make it. The other one got on a call with me and I explained to them what my audience reacts to. And they're like, great, do that. So they knew that if I provided insights and we went with that idea, like there's a better chance that the videos that would have more success than if I'm just a monkey reading a script.
And I think that's where bigger brands miss the mark
Yeah.
because the old mentality of creator marketing and influencer marketing is you need the creator. But that's not always true. It can be true for really big creators. Like if you get Mr. Beast to say something, it doesn't matter in what context. If he says it, people are going to believe it and follow it. Right. But for some of these small creators, you, in my opinion, you need to optimize for views, not for the person. Right. So when you put them in this creative box, if it brings their average view count from 200,000 down to 20,000, then you defeated the entire purpose of the video, unless you're going to use it in a paid ad, which is normally not going to be the intention for a creator video, right? Like the more creative restrictions that you put on the creator, the
Mm-hmm.
lower your view count's going to be, which is just going to decrease the entire reason of running the campaign.
I agree. On the flip side of that, the flowers I will give to Salesforce is comparing this campaign that they are offering to me as a small creator compared to the definite multi-million dollar campaigns that they've been running with Matthew McConaughey and these other like A-list actors who are talking about AI and business. Like who in their right mind is going to think that, oh yeah, Matthew McConaughey knows what he's like. It's
Totally.
exactly what you said. It's just getting, oh, I recognize who that is. And now I might take action on that, which is a complete miss for what they're trying to sell comparatively to what I would give them flowers for is finding smaller AI specific creators that have an audience or know these things or know that they're also talking about similar things like, you know, the whole idea of the concept around the stuff around what you're working on. Um, I think that is the right move. I just don't think they executed it in the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. It'd be interesting for me to see. Well, I guess you're not doing the brand deal, so I don't know. But it'd be interesting to see if putting the harder restrictions on a creator is going to lead to a better outcome or if it just kills views and then defeats the purpose. Because I'm going the total creative freedom route. I'm saying to all of our creators, you can do whatever you want. All you
Mm-hmm.
have to do is talk about or show the app in use in the first 15 seconds. That's it. Like we have literally no other requirement. You tag us as a collaborator and then you just say whatever you want. So I
I
don't
like
know.
that.
Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. We're
I like that.
also I'm following the lead of other apps like Cal AI that just went fucking mega viral. And it's also a good negotiating tactic because I tell them, hey, you've done brand deals in the past. Doesn't it suck when they ask you for a dozen reshoots and to change this word and it ends up being more work than the video? Yeah, so we don't need that. You just do what you want, post it. All you have to do is talk about it or show it in the first 15 seconds.
I would like that. Yeah, that would work for me.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. we're we're gonna drop like 10 G's on creators with literally just crossing our fingers. So we'll find out.
I
I'll let
mean,
everybody know.
yeah,
Either way, it's going to be a good video because I can either say like I spent 10 grand on influencer marketing and it brought my app from zero to this much MRR, or I can say like I wasted $10,000 on this and here's what you can avoid and here's what you shouldn't do.
yeah. Hopefully, it's the first one.
Hopefully, hopefully. Anyway, okay, so I came across a crazy idea yesterday that I shared with you.
Okay.
This is, I think, did I share it with you? Yeah, I did. I
Oh,
did.
yes,
Dude.
the Andrew
Okay.
Tate method, right?
Yes. The method originally coined by Andrew Tate that now every major creator is using. You see, like Luke Belmar is using this like crazy. Eman Ghazi is one of the early people after Tate that to catch on and realize, holy shit, this is how people are making mega bucks. And it's called, we'll call it the Andrew Tate method, but the now software that you can do this with, it's called Whoop Rewards, WHOP, sorry, WAP
Wow.
Rewards.
Yeah, I was just saying, wow.
WAP, WAP. Yeah, sounds a little waspy, but what it is, it's for if you have it's usually going to be a YouTube channel, but if you're a social media personality, you stream on Twitch all the time, if you have a lot of long form engaging content, you can upload that content onto WAP and pay what are called clippers. And clippers are people that are going to take your long form content, and clip it down to short form content. And they can do it however they want. It's probably going to be a lot of software that does the heavy lifting for most of these clippers, especially if you're doing it full time. And then you, as the creator, with all this long form content, can give a reward. It's called a bounty. And you will pay, usually it's $1 per CPM. So $1 per 1,000 views that you'll pay to a clipper. And then all they have to do is look at your content, clip it together, and post it on their own channel, right? So the clipper creates the channel, they look at your content, they snip it down, and then they just fire out the short form content, and they're paid normally $1 per CPM. Yeah, so you've got it up here. You can see all the bounties.
Very interesting.
So the crazy part for me is you can see someone go from you kind of knew them to I see this dude everywhere. This is how. This is the new marketing. This is the new 2012 Facebook ads. Like this is the new TikTok just came out and you're going mega viral from posting a video of grass moving. Like this is it. This is the new wave. It's going to be
Yeah.
clipping. But what's crazy is it's a little elitist is not the word, but it's going to favor people that have already made great content. If
Yeah.
you're not a content creator, if you don't have anything already out there in the ethos, then this is useless for you. But if you do, it would be insane not to use this. And you
Mhm.
can sell literally anything. For the people making buku bucks, they're selling like $10,000 courses. But yeah, pretty crazy.
So how do you think someone like myself with like a medium-sized audience or low, small audience could take advantage of this? Do you think it
But
would
you have a
work?
niche audience. Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. You have a niche audience. But I think that you would need to increase the bounty because
Mhm.
people know that your videos aren't going to inherently go mega viral because it's niche down and you don't have a track record of having long form content be clipped into short form and go viral.
Yeah.
Like someone like Luke Belmar, like he says ridiculous shit so it goes viral, right? And
Exactly.
that's his entire shtick, his entire business model. And then he sells a subscription to Capital Club, and that's where all the wealth comes from, right? It's like it's the classic story. If you want to get rich, pretend you're rich and sell a course on how to get rich. It's like whatever. It's a story as old as time. But yeah, for someone like you, I would just say upload all the content, or unless it's already uploaded, you say here are my channels, and then I would put a $5 bounty, $5 per 1,000 views, and then you just have to run the math on it. It's like okay, you can track it by the way on the platform. It's pretty intuitive. It's like all right, great. Well, this got me 10 million views over the past 30 days. And that resulted in this uptick in revenue that's over and above what my usual growth pattern would be for that month.
Hmm.
And then you can just do the math like, okay, 10 million views is going to cost you $10,000. If that increased your MRR by more than $10,000, which it probably should if you have a decently high converting landing page, then you're off to the races.
So what if I just started making like long form video content of just the most wild AI takes and like so AI hype beast and or doomerism? Like I could play both sides of the coin. Here's why Skynet is here, and here's how you can make $1 million with AI tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's why we call it the Andrew Tate method, because he says so much stupid shit. Like his
Yep.
early quote was like, where's your Bugatti? Right? It's like this dumb little thing. Or now, I don't know, he's running for what is it, the governor or prime minister of the United Kingdom of London. Did you
He's
see that?
he's what? He's running
Dude,
for.
dude, you didn't see this. Oh
I
my
don't know.
God.
I'm
He
pretty
he
sure
started
I'm pretty sure like I blocked his name on Twitter.
okay, so he started a political party in the UK called Bruv. And it's legit. It's an actually published political party, and he wants to be prime minister of the UK. And his content is just as ridiculous, even more.
Yeah.
He's like, first rule, blow up all the fucking immigrants, get them out. It's just all the most like ridiculous stuff. It's like I'm gonna make a part of the country that's for whites only, and all the people like me can't get in. It's intentionally controversial
Yeah, of
because
course.
he has this whole team of clippers on the back end that's going to clip the content, post it out, and ultimately the goal is to just get people into his school. I forget
Paid
what it's called.
his paid thing. Yeah.
Yeah, his paid thing for like $50 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the whole move. But anyway, yeah. If you pick a topic and like his is masculinity, it's a pretty easy thing to talk about. But if you pick a topic like AI and you just take really hot takes, really hard takes
Yeah.
on emotionally jarring things, then yeah, you could clip that content, get tens of millions of views, and push everybody to Stammer and get Stammer subscriptions. Honestly, especially for all the young guys that want to start a business and don't know where to start, I think you'd get a lot of them. It would probably increase your churn, but you would probably have really high acquisition.
Interesting.
Could be cool. It's also a
Interesting.
brand new platform, so the method exists, but I think most of these guys just VA it. It's not
Uh-huh.
like a platform that they're using. But as soon as something becomes a platform, there's just going to be mass adoption. It's going to, I think, completely change the social media algorithms. Like they're going to have to react to this change because you're going to have a couple people that become the king of social media.
Yeah. I think, yeah, stuff like this with AI avatars also being able to be creating content or people using AI to create fake people for content. Like I've been seeing a lot of that as well lately, where
Yeah,
just like you have a hot chick talking about your product, and like that's gonna get more views than here's my product.
yeah, yeah. It's really true. It's very true. I think the
Yeah.
face of social media is going to change a lot over the next 6 months. It's going to be so heavy on AI, and there's going to be a couple people that you will just get sucked into their ecosystem without even knowing.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you
It's
could be one of them.
could be, and I think it's also affecting other like channels and methods. So there's a thread that I saw earlier that was talking about how HubSpot's SEO has dropped significantly due to their AI generated articles,
Interesting.
and how that conversation so there's a lot of comments here basically talking about how utilizing AI to generate articles programmatically might not be the best use case because Google and the search engine, you know, the that whole like SERP analysis thing is going to be able to find that and de-rank your web pages, lowering your organic traffic. So for
Hmm.
everybody that's like using AI to write blog articles, might want
Think
to
again.
think about that again.
Wow. I wonder if there's ever a point where they reverse that, where they say, you know what, some of this AI content is so much better than what humans are actually writing that we might want to place some small level of emphasis on it.
I just don't think anybody's reading it. Like
Due to volume or due to just
just in
irrelevance?
general, I think like most people skim through articles rather than read. Like especially if it's not a tutorial or something, like the article is there for the search engine 9 times out of 10, I think. But what I think it might change to is having information there that's not for the search engine, but it's for the AI to know what it is about the page to do or click on. Like, did you see how they just OpenAI released their operator today?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it through you.
Yeah.
Everything I learned about AI is from you. I just follow your page and then that's my AI information.
So Anthropic released their version of this called Computer Use a few weeks ago, if not months ago, where it's like an application on your computer that has a chat window, and you can be like, "Hey, go, book me a restaurant or book me a table at a restaurant," and the AI will control your mouse and your computer, and then go and do that process.
Okay. That's really cool. That's crazy.
But OpenAI took it a step further to where now it's not an app that is on your computer or something that's controlling your computer. It's a simulated browser window that pops up inside the chat conversation.
So you're, oh, that's crazy.
So
So
like
you're,
imagine you're in ChatGPT and you say, book me a table at a restaurant. All of a sudden, like your chat goes to the left, and then all of a sudden a browser window opens up in the right, and it starts going and like it navigates to the restaurant's website, and then basically it takes a screenshot.
sorry, got a screaming baby behind me.
No worries,
It's okay. Sorry, dude.
you're good. Do you need to go?
No, no, no. I just, I mean, you'll see in a second. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. All right. Noah's joining the call. Come here. Here we go. Hi. Come say hi to Ross. Come say hi to everybody. There we go.
I know.
Who's that? Here's Ross.
Gotta leave
Sorry,
it
I'm in.
there.
Yeah, I know, dude. He has such long hair. I'm in. I can't turn my camera, but it's like a glass area here, so he could just see me ignoring him through the glass window. So anyway, not for anybody who has young kids, do not get a glass partition for your office. Okay, but yeah, so you're in an OpenAI chat. You're in a ChatGPT chat, and a browser window pops up, and
And
it will
then
navigate through the browser window and perform tasks for you.
essentially, yeah, it takes like screenshots every millisecond, and then identifies the steps it needs to. It analyzes the screenshot, and then it's like, oh, I need to click that UI element in order to achieve this result or action.
Man, that is unbelievable. So this is going to take the practicality of AI way further. If it can actually do things for you, this is what makes it, I think, an actual. I don't know if agent's the best word, but an
It's
employee, basically.
it's the first stepping stone towards autonomous AI agents that can do tasks and work for you. Right now, I think what Operator is or how it will be used by people is like a glorified Selenium browser automation tool, which is something that's been around for a long time, where you can be like, okay, program your mouse to click at 125 pixels by 96 pixels. Click there, and it will click there, and then it runs automations based off of what's on the web page. Well, if the web page changes, then the Selenium automation can break.
Right, right, got it. But the difference with OpenAI is it's going to actually like
It'll
be able to.
it'll screenshot what you're looking at, which is
Sure.
one of the ways that I've been actually utilizing Claude a lot. I've been using Claude artifacts probably the most out of any AI tool the past 2 weeks.
Remind me what Claude is. I should totally know.
So Anthropic, Claude, they're like one of those main competitors to ChatGPT. They have a feature called artifacts, which allows me to have the AI generate code and then run the code in the window right next to the chat window.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So I've been utilizing it to redesign entire elements on my application.
What? Like recode pieces of Stammer?
The whole thing. I'll
Oh
show
my
you an
gosh,
example.
that's crazy.
And it's cool because the dev team now is utilizing this stuff. So the flow here is I'll go to the app and I'll be like, oh, I want to redesign a certain area or I want to redesign something in the application, like the integrations tab, for example. So what I would do is I would like take a screenshot of the integrations tab what it currently looks like. And then I would paste it into Claude and I'd be like, redesign this so it looks better, add some things based off of, some other things. And then it will generate an interface. It'll write the code, but then it runs this code in a preview window that is a live mockup, live demo. So like I can interact with it with the elements. And then if I don't like something, like, oh, change the chat widget settings title to this or that, like remove the toggle for, it's like it used to look like this. And then I was like, remove the toggle for enable chat widget. And then it made it that. So within a few seconds, I can redesign entire things. I can then give these as screenshots, but I can also publish them and then send this link to the dev team. So the dev team has a live mock-up version of the UI and the UX of how I want this new piece to be developed. And it's all happening in like a matter of minutes.
So are you using this to then just show the demo to your dev team, or could you export the code and say, here's the code too?
Both. So because Claude is restricted to certain libraries, um, one of which is a library called ShadCN, which is essentially like a library of existing components. So think like, oh, what should a toggle look like? It pulls it from that library. We are using a different library of different icons and elements. So the team can utilize the code in the sense that they can see how it's structured, but the actual implementation of the elements itself is slightly different because we're using a different library.
Got it. Got it. But if I guess theoretically, if you're using the same library, or if you just started using Claude from the beginning to design the entire UI in UX of Stammer, you, in theory, wouldn't really have to change anything. You could just use this entire thing.
Correct. And that's what I believe Cursor is doing. They're using your libraries that you have installed that are custom to your application across your code base, not just generic elements that Claude is pulling from the internet.
Got it. Got it.
But
That's so crazy impressive, though. Like, look at this speed that you can just redesign an
yeah,
entire page.
and dude, I've been doing it for like a lot of things, like
Would this
analytics,
work for? Oh my
analytics
God.
tabs. Yeah, there was times when I was like redesign this like an iOS app, and then it would do it.
Oh, don't tell me that before launch. I'm gonna go through and just redesign the whole app.
um, yeah, so like in terms of quote unquote AI employee, this is as close to what I would consider as I mean, we're not going to hire a designer because we're able to do this. Now, a
Right.
designer will provide even more than that in the sense that it'll be even more cohesive and whatever, but I'm going from, in my mind, it looks shitty to now it looks okay, which is miles ahead of where it was or is for a free or, $20 a month investment comparatively to hiring another full-time designer on the dev team that would cost at minimum, 4 or 5K a month.
Right. So this probably doesn't affect higher tier designers that are working with established companies, but it's definitely going to affect the startups. Like this is going to affect the Fiverr, Upwork, little
It
designer creators.
and it will, yeah, I think it'll also affect those people that want to be good enough, not pixel perfect. And I think the difference is like things like with Figma, you can be pixel perfect and export that, and then that becomes the design, like straight up. So if you're trying to have that level of control and customization over things, then more power to you. On the other hand, there's going to be someone who codes a good enough user experience based off of what things like Claude have access to, which is the best practices on most apps anyways, which in my opinion is probably going to be the way that has like that's probably the better UI UX experience than whatever I'm coming up with out of my head.
Yeah, and you also have the benefit of speed to launch. Like if you don't have to go through designer, dev, implement, version update, publish, if you can do all of that within a matter of a couple hours, there's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
It's
And the
better to
cool
be first than perfect.
and it's sick because you don't even really need to know how to prompt with this. You can, like I said, you can use screenshots. You could, you could even like circle a red X around an element and then put that screenshot in, and it would probably know that, oh, I need to get rid of that element because it's with a red X. And as long as you can dictate that with text in a prompt window, like I showed you, like take out that element, then it will follow that instructions and be able to do that for you to where you can get what's in your head out on paper very quickly.
Is this just for UI UX, or is it helping with improved functionality as well? Like, could I upload separate screenshots and say the flow from this page to the next isn't working, redesign it, and then could I take that code base and implement it? Like, could I put it onto, well, could I export it in a React code base into a functional app, or is it just front end?
Be worth a shot. I would try it. I think it might fall apart after maybe like two or three changes or like flows or clicks, but it's worth a shot. I mean, I've created like multi-tab things with multi elements on different pages, and so I mean, it's worth. I'd say it's worth a shot. Give it a try. See what
This is
happens.
crazy. You got to reach out to Claude. Be like, guys, got to make a video for you.
Yeah, yeah. When I taught, I showed Drew how to do this, and he started doing it and went crazy because he's talking with a lot of customers, and so he's like getting that feedback from customers. Then he himself is going, taking screenshots, describing that feedback to Claude to then have Claude redesign the element. And now our head of sales is doing product management and design. Like, what? But
Yeah.
that's this new world, I think, of being able to 10x your output with AI. Like, I would have never been able to do any type of this stuff before, but now we're accelerating so much faster because both of us can do it, and it only costs us, $20 a month each. Crazy.
Going back to my when I was working in sales for a tech startup, if
Mm-hmm.
I had this, if I could show someone, hey, this is what it could look like. We don't have it now, but we could do it, and this is where it sits in the roadmap. It would just be such a clear picture for the customer to see, oh, cool, okay, they're working on it, this is where it's going to go, but this is what the product is today. It would make your job so much easier.
Yeah,
And it's no added work on the sales guy's part because it's still part of sales. You're showing the customer this could be the functionality that you're asking for.
yeah, and the fact that that sales guy could also create and develop that himself without taking dev bandwidth is mind blowing.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. It goes back to the, well, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, it's just the Alex Hermosi understanding time blocks thing, which has been so important for me. Sales guys' time blocks are half-hour blocks, right? But if you ask a dev for something and it interrupts their 4-hour morning workday, that's gone. That's like one of two blocks in the day. Anytime you want to talk to a
Yeah,
dev, you're interrupting their workflow. So if you can just do these little things without having to bug them, it's going to make your team a lot more efficient.
100%. Yeah, I deal with that every day with our lead, and having him context switch several times per day between new features, support tickets, back and forth, managing the team, answering questions from, the junior guys, onboarding our new senior, like there's so many more extra responsibilities. And I know that our output would be higher if we would be able to systematize more of those things to allow him to focus more on the code side and just like raw development. Um, but some of the feedback that they gave us based off of some of this new workflows is, rather than just being like, here's our idea, here's what we want to do, giving them the entire end result of what the ideal end result is at the very beginning gives them the very clear path of here's exactly the direction we want to go, to then be able to break it down into steps that are easier to manage and knock out quicker. And in my mind, that's so opposite to what we were talking originally about how companies are dictating that creative process. Devs are not that creative, or they just want to be told what to build, kind of. At least that's the feedback they're giving me, because it helps them do their job easier, faster, better.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You have way more experience in this than I do, but what I realized by working with a dev team is that they're like developers or engineers. Engineers are just advanced problem solvers. That's what they are. They're problem solvers that know how to
Yeah.
work in a language that solves a specific problem. Right? So if you can tell them this is the problem that I'm trying to solve, full stop, not uh, here's a small thing we want to do here, here's a small thing we want to do there. You could just be complicating the code base and making things harder than it needs to be than if you just say, here's the North Star, this is where we're going, and this is what we need to build towards. And it'll probably save you a lot of time and money on the way.
Yeah. 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 And we're now doing even faster review sessions on features, because they're now encouraged to showcase half completed work or non completed work. Whereas
Like your
before,
devs are.
they would wait until it's like ready for deployment, for testing. And now we're like, no, like, because what I'm seeing is there's the front end side and then the back end, and they'll build them both separately, and then the final piece is connecting the two pieces together. And now, when before they were like, okay, now they're both connected, here you go. Now we're like, give us the two pieces before you do the middle part.
Right.
And we want to make sure that the UI, the front end, looks what like and experiences like what we want. And I mean, there was an example this morning of something that was shown, and it was like, instead of a text box, that needs to be a drop down. And that would have been a whole nother round of revisions just for that one little change, but now it's just handled.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting. That's probably something that I should do. Uh, yeah, that's something that I should do.
Yeah. And becoming okay with and encouraging the democratization of product management. Everybody's a product manager at Stammer. If you have a good idea and it's going to help the flow, like, let's talk about it and implement it.
That's really
I'm not the
important.
one with, I'm not gatekeeping anything. Like, if it's a better idea, like, let's do that. I don't care. I didn't come up with it, like,
It's kind of like having a focus group, except for something as complicated as Stammer, it makes more sense that you own the focus group. Like you should internally diagnose the problem and come up with solutions because no one is going to know the product as well as your team does.
and our customers. I think that's probably why I'm okay with it, is because we were taking feedback from customers from day one about how to modify, change, and improve the platform, which
Yeah,
I think
that's
a lot of maybe like single founders might have a problem with, because it's like, oh, this is my baby, this is my thing, like. But it's like, if you don't know what you don't know, then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's easy to fall in love with it and can then get caught in the software evaluation pipe dream of like, oh, if we just acquire this many users and our churn is only this, you can easily see the graph going up. Uh, but ultimately, it's going to be user retention. So and the only way you're getting that is by talking to your customers, the people that are actually buying the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something that I'm going to try to do. We've got like a small 80-person group of people that are getting first access to the app, and I'm going to talk to every one of them individually and to see all the things that could be improved, which is going to be a daunting, horrible list of things that we have to fix. But it's just the name of the game.
But a year, 2 years from now, when we're talking about it, you'll be like, that was the best, most valuable thing that I ever did that I could have done. I mean, I'm telling you that that was it for me 2 years ago when I did it with you.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
So
I remember the first aha moment of realizing, oh, that's how
we
my
filmed it.
end user could. Yeah, I remember that. Yep. I think it's probably still a testimonial on the
I
website.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to go through the same thing. I uh I used to watch videos of the founder of Stan Store. Do you know that guy?
Yeah. Jay Hoovy,
Yeah, 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 yeah. And he said the same thing. He's like, at the beginning, you have to do the unscalable in order to scale. And I thought that was good advice.
for sure. Yeah. I would agree 100% with that. To a
Well,
point.
I'll find out.
To a point.
I mean, I know that's what it was in the agency. Like if I didn't deal with some of the nitty-gritty problems that I probably could have outsourced, it might just lead to more problems or less
Mhm.
satisfied customers, or like sometimes they just want to talk to you
Yeah.
and you have to do it. It didn't lead to scale. Well, maybe it did, but it more led to acquisition.
What I'm finding now is I'm able to achieve a per, a percentage of that FaceTime through content and consistent office hours.
That's really good.
So people still see me and are aware that, but I'm not one-on-oneing anymore.
Yeah, and you don't have to. I mean,
Yeah.
you've gotten to that apex of growth where you don't have to, nor could you one-on-one every customer, but at the start it's probably important.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I talked with our first, I mean, it was for the first year and a half. So, I mean, it was hundreds of customers
Yeah.
that I talked with and onboarded and like did the entire, like all those things. And I'm glad I did that because the person that I then hired to do that process for me saw that I was doing all that and did it like, yeah, worked out.
Yeah. Definitely did.
But yeah, I agree. That's talking with your customers. That's probably one of the best things. I was telling a younger guy earlier today, um, who was asking for some advice on starting their own application, and I actually tweeted this out after I sent it to him because I was like, oh, this is a good piece here. Having existing service-based clients that know and trust you is the biggest hack to starting a SaaS no one ever talks about.
Say that again.
Having existing service-based clients that know and trust you is the biggest hack to starting a SaaS that no one ever talks about. Maybe not for you because you're going in a different direction
I was gonna say if you're starting a SaaS in the same
in
space
the
and
same
serving the same
space.
customers, then
Yes.
100%. Totally agree. Yeah. There
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
time where I was exploring doing a Shopify app and it would be a shoe-in because I already have dozens of paying customers that know and trust me. I can say, hey, here's the thing that we built. But yeah,
Next.
I could see that being applicable to in most
Yeah.
situations.
Do that next.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
I mean, I was telling Tim about your app because he's like the things that he's experienced that you are experiencing as a human in what you're going through in your life and parlaying that into the opportunity is almost the same as if you were to do it with your experience from the business side. It's just which one are you choosing?
In terms of what? Like what to pass? What do you mean?
Just like your experience and what you're actively dealing like who better to comment on the questions that a new parent has than a new parent?
Oh yeah, I mean that's for sure true. Like solving your own problem, I think makes it a lot easier because you're going to foresee issues that you wouldn't otherwise be able to diagnose.
That's a better way. Yeah, solving your own problems, but then flipping that around to sell it to help solve the same problems of others.
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. I thought about it in a way of how do I how do I make my life my business? Because I like working, I like spending a lot of time working. And when I asked that first question running the agency, it was okay, well, I want uh, I want location freedom, we want this amount of income, I want these working hours, and the agency solved that problem. And I think an agency is still an excellent business model. The service that you're selling changes by the decades, but generally an agency I think is still an excellent business model. But then the software thing was, okay, I want to make parenting or having kids my business. If you can intertwine your personal life and your business, uh, it just doesn't feel like work. You spent all your time doing it anyways. You might as well try to profit from it, and it's fun, and you solve your own problem,
And you get great content from it.
and you get great content. Yeah, and listen, the whole thing might fall flat on its face, but I knew I wanted to branch out into software anyways. So if this isn't it, it will be something else.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Software, I think, is still the move until you have a couple million to sink into some sort of like CPG brand. Because I still think at that scale for like a consumer product, like you can still make just insane money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You
Oh yeah.
can. Well, I told you about the guy. I told you about the guy last week. He has one of five brands. This is the parenting brand. He finds videos that are posted on TikTok and going viral that are posted within the first 24 hours, and he reshares them to Instagram. So it's new content on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Like Instagram hasn't seen it posted before. It goes viral, gets hundreds of thousands of views, and his entire page is resharing popular TikTok content to Instagram and pushing people to his Shopify store. The link in bio is the Shopify store. Anybody that comments gets a link to a product. That's the business. Does a quarter million a month, and it's 100% drop shipped.
Is the products related to the videos?
Yeah, the videos are parenting videos. The product, it's called Mommies, is the Shopify store. It's
Got
like
it.
parenting products. So
Okay,
that's
but
it.
the
Yes, they're
videos,
directly related. They're tied together.
but it's not the same. Same
No,
audience,
and
different
he
product.
doesn't own the same audience. The
Damn.
video is not the product. It's
So,
just the same audience.
so
That's the
he's just
match.
reshare, like stealing other people's videos, basically, and then monetizing them through a related niche store.
Yeah, that's it. But then I'll do you one better. His account now has 300 and something thousand followers. All of his videos get hundreds of thousands of views and tons of engagement.
So
And now
people,
people want to be featured on his page. So he's like, no one ever asks me to take it down anymore. They ask me to add them as a collaborator. They want credit.
unbelievable.
And he goes, and now some people pay me up to 7 grand to just tag them
Uh-huh.
in the video. And so it just created this whole other business model that he didn't even know existed. He was trying to grow his Shopify brand, and now he has all these affiliate deals.
That's funny. That'll be interesting to see if that gets affected at all with some of the new updates that Instagram seems to be pushing. I think I got hit with it bad the other day. I posted a carousel where the second slide was a reposted video that had a watermark of another username.
Mm,
Adam Mosseri came out today or yesterday saying the number one thing you don't want to do on Instagram is reshare with a watermark. And
I think we knew that.
I knew that with like the TikTok watermark, but I think Instagram's AI algo is able to like see other shit than just the TikTok watermark, and or comparing it to things that other people have already reposted that match
Yeah.
1 to 1. But that post got like 3 likes in a day compared to
Oh, you got super deranked.
super deranked.
Yeah.
So I deleted it and I filmed and posted a new video this morning, which I'm trying to like refresh calculate my feed because I think I might have screwed myself there for a little bit.
It's probably temporary, but there's so many services where you can remove the watermark. It probably won't be an issue. Like I don't think it's gonna. I mean, I don't mean your account specifically. I mean like at large, other accounts are not often going to post with someone else's watermark, even if you're resharing other people's content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like so many websites where I can just download the content without a watermark and then just post it.
Yeah. These are like videos on Twitter where people are putting their usernames like in the center of the video.
Oh yeah, yeah, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah. The reposting thing, that's quite interesting though. I see that a lot with back to that clip, the whole clipping strategy, like when that guy Brett Malinowski was talking about how, oh, you've probably seen these videos with the steak uh watermark on them,
Yep.
and it's just like random fucking videos. Well, that's, I mean, what better to just get people interested? I mean, it's probably a super low CPM, but I mean, they're probably doing crazy views.
Well, I think most of the clippers are going to be based in Asia
Mm.
because you can't, when you think about it, a million views is like $1,000. It's not a ton of money. But if you're doing it, I think it's going to be like, it will come to the point where they're clipping houses, just an office space full of hundreds of people in probably India, Pakistan, Philippines that are paid to just cycle through content and clip, and they're going to get a percentage of the earnings, or just paid a shitty low hourly wage, and whoever owns the house is just going
I
to
was gonna
get
say, yeah, we
mad money.
anytime we're talking $5 an hour people or less, like there's gonna be people taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I am for sure. You know
So am
you're
I.
old.
I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. I just the way the world works.
It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
That's
Yeah.
the
And
free market.
I'm not gonna offer to pay somebody more than they're asking for. But you know your old VA, OAN?
Hmm.
Yeah, I've been working with her for like 4 months.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, she's awesome. And she's proven. She worked with you. She worked with one of our other CPG brands. She did a great job.
Nice. Yeah, these finding the I don't even know. I feel like I don't even know why we stopped working with her. I think it was just like it just kind of like we fell off almost. But
Well, it's like regular VA tasks. Like when the task runs out,
yeah,
you just sorry, see you later.
yeah, 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 yeah. And
But
now that we have our team, like now we essentially have an office with, I mean, at this point, almost like 10 people in Pakistan.
mhm.
Having people together in an office is that are VAs is insane. Like the amount of benefit that we're getting from that alone is insane. And I'm trying to protect that at all costs.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. That's partially why I hired our entire developer team from Ukraine because they're right beside me. They're right next door. We're in the same time zone, and
Oh, yeah.
they're in a team, and we work. So they're it's just like a five-person team of dudes working in WeWork in Ukraine, which is like a 8 hour drive from me.
Have you gone out there yet and visited them? Or is it kind of dangerous?
Mm, nah,
Not yet.
not yet,
Not yet.
not yet, not yet, not yet. Especially with the inauguration, I don't
And I
know
was
if I'm
like,
going there
they
anytime soon.
probably can't come to Poland, right?
Oh no, they can. They need visas though, which is crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll probably meet with them eventually.
Yeah.
But it's just good
Well,
having a team in one place.
that's like me in Pakistan. The team was like, "You guys need to come out to Pakistan." I was like,
Pass.
I don't like traveling that long. It'd be such a long, so
I
long of traveling.
Dude, I'm not getting on a 20-hour flight to go to
Oh,
Pakistan.
yeah. I'll pay for
Philippines
you guys
maybe.
to come to the U.S. and
Yeah, yeah,
we'll
exactly.
have a blast.
But then same problem. You got to get them visas. Although I'm sure you could with those guys.
I think yeah, I don't think that would necessarily be a problem. I think it would just be more of a hassle.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, anyway, I gotta jump off. Recap, you're on Product Hunt. Everybody go upvote Stammer AI on Product Hunt.
Hopefully we win. Golden Kitty Award.
Oh yeah.
Such a funny name.
All right, man. Good
All
chat.
right. Sounds good. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.